Hi, everybody. It's always fun when you're setting up for something and then you realize that you've muted yourself on a different computer.
Oh no.
That's what I was doing.
I was wondering I was like, where are you going?
Yeah, we're done. Well, that's it.
Okay, bye.
Don't need to do this anymore. Yeah, that's exactly what happened was I just muted myself somewhere else. It's okay though. It's totally fine. My name is Jared Waite. I'm the communications director here for the Town of Avon. And today is something a little bit different. Normally we have either a meeting recap or a live at lunch. This isn't really lunchtime, but I thought that it would be really advantageous to have an open conversation. So I'm creating this new thing. Megan, you're the first person that has ever been on this before.
So fun.
I know, right? It's called, okay, let's chat. Because that's what we're going to do. We're just going to talk about what's going on. Megan, take a brief moment. Tell everybody there's people from the Town of Avon and probably anywhere else around here watching. Mm-hmm. Tell everybody, who are you and who do you work for, all that good stuff.
Okay. So my name is Megan DeLuceany. I work with the Indiana Department of Transportation, INDOT for short. I just started in April recently, but I'm a local girl, grown up in Indiana. I live in Hendricks County. Went to Ritter, went to Ball State. So a lot of local happening. But yeah, I'm very excited to be in this position. And I'm very excited to talk to you today.
So what do you do with INDOT specifically?
With INDOT, I'm the communications director. That's a good question. Or not communications director, public relations director. We have a lot of communications things happening, but
all kinds of different things going on. Totally fine. Totally fine. So Megan and I have worked back and forth. If you follow INDOT West, do you oversee all of the Facebooks?
No. So just INDOT West Central is us. So it's mostly Terre Haute to West Lafayette to Plainfield, kind of that area.
Sure.
We have like 13 counties, I think.
So if you think that like a town like Avon has a lot of things going on that we're all trying to stay on top of. Mm-hmm. Megan's got
there's a lot of stuff.
A lot of different things happening, all the different roadways that INDOT is responsible for. But she has graciously offered to come here to my office and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about something that a lot of you have had a lot of concerns about. Some of you are very happy about some of this project and some of you are not that excited about it. But we want to make sure that you understand that INDOT and the government, we're not robots. We are real people. There are real jobs happening. But having the opportunity to talk a little bit about what's going on and the progress that's being made. And then, just being transparently open with you about here are the problems that we've ran into, but here is the possible light at the end of the tunnel. So let's just go ahead and kick this off right off the bat. US 36.
Yep.
US 36 is what we're going to be talking about today. And US 36 Rockville Road, if you did not know, and I'll let you answer this, Megan, US 36 Rockville Road, is that a Town of Avon road or is that an INDOT road?
So no, any state road that you see, any interstate highway, that's INDOT. So state road, whatever, that would be an INDOT road, or US whatever, that would be an INDOT road. So yeah, you guys don't really have much control over construction on that side of things.
Sure. Now, when you say the road, does that mean the stoplights, everything on the road all the way down?
If there's a pothole, then we'll take care of it. If it's on a state road, state-owned road.
Perfect. Now we've set up that we push our website a lot, avongov.org. There's actually a really quick way that you can reach out to INDOT if you're on 36, if you've got a question, avongov.org/INDOT. And it'll take you directly to where you need to go to report a pothole or a light that's out or anything like that. So US 36, we've had some construction that's been going on from just east of Raceway, right there in front of like the LA Fitness, all the way west to just in front of Smoky Bones, somewhere in that relative position. I went out today and I took some pictures of construction as it stands right now. But Megan, let's just go ahead and start with, why did this project happen? What was the purpose for this project?
Yeah, so actually US 36 is one of the first projects I toured when I started with INDOT back in April. And the project manager explained to me that the road as it is just can't handle the amount of cars that go by it every day. When it was built, or when the last reconstructioning happened, they weren't planning for this many cars to go in and out of Avon. And so now that this road, we're adding some lanes and kind of thickening that pavement to make sure it can actually handle the amount of traffic that goes through.
Okay. So do you have any idea about how many cars they thought were going through and about how many there is actually going through now? It's a big number. I know
Yeah,
that.
it's for some reason. So I think it was built to handle about 30,000, and now it's getting 40.
Okay.
So that's a lot more cars going through, and like semis to utilize through Avon, which is probably fun for everyone. But
Sure.
yeah, so a lot of traffic, which is good for growth for the city, but we just need to make sure that the pavement can keep up. If we don't come out here and we don't do rehabilitating things, take measures to prolong the life of that pavement, we're going to have to be out there a lot more than we are.
Sure, absolutely. Now, originally, this project was supposed to take about how long?
I think it was supposed to take about, was it 6 months to a year-ish?
Okay.
And unfortunately, we've had some setbacks, as you all are dealing with right now. And I will say utility companies failing to relocate their equipment is a big, big reason for that. If you look at every business, there's utilities going to that business. So all along the road, there's utilities. And if we're digging to widen the road, we find a line that wasn't supposed to be there, we have to stop what we're doing. We have to try to get in touch with the utility company, have to call them to come out and move it. And we can't start work until that's moved. And that just kept happening over and over and over again. But we're trying to get back on top of it. We're really cracking down on these utility companies. We have a whole team that's handling that now. So we're trying to get that process going through. And I think you said you just had a meeting today where right now there are no utilities in the way. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we can continuously progress. But yeah, every time we find a line that's where it's not supposed to be, that's a delay. So that's a big reason for why it's taking so long.
Okay.
Yeah. And then also there's things that are happening nationwide, right? There's labor shortages, even with us and even with the contractor that's working on the project, and also supply chain issues, just getting some of those materials out to the site. So we appreciate you guys sticking with us. We're frustrated that it's taking this long. We know it's frustrating for you guys. So we appreciate you guys cooperating and being patient with the crews that are out there working really hard.
Yeah. So you were saying that it was hoping it was going to be completed around 6 months to a year, somewhere in that range.
Yes.
I think that any logical adult would understand that when you have construction, especially outdoor construction, weather is a big element to that.
Yep.
But with the whole, and I'm not going to say COVID caused all of the issues in the world as of right now, but I do know that there are some shortages in certain areas. Mm-hmm. Has that impacted INDOT in any form or fashion?
As far as INDOT, I mean, some materials, I know wood was a big one for a while. And you kind of use that to set your curbs and things like that. And just everything seems to be in short supply these days. And we order ahead as much as we can. And the contractor does that as well. But yeah, we're just working through any issues we come across. COVID was hard on everybody, and it definitely changed things for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're coming up on fall, which in my opinion is the best time of the year. Mm-hmm. Not everybody agrees with me on that. There's a lot of summer people out there.
No, our house is decorated for Halloween already.
Okay, good. Fall is where we have that transition in weather.
Yes.
You have that really, again, I don't know concrete. I don't know road work. However, I would presume that warm days, sunny weather is good for road work.
Yes.
Then you get into fall and into winter. How does that impact what INDOT is able to do?
Yeah, so it does impact things that we do a lot. We have construction season between April and I think November-ish for a reason. That's why it's construction season. It's the best time to do it. And in Indiana, of course, weather is super unpredictable. So if you have super hot days, the pavement reacts differently to that. If you have a lot of wet days, pavement reacts differently to that. And sometimes there's things that you can't predict that are going to happen with the weather. So that is a big one. But our contractor has a plan to make sure that this road reopens at the end of the year. So that's at the end of December. They're bringing in additional labor to blanket the concrete from the cold, providing additional ground heating equipment to make sure that we can keep working, and using a specific type of concrete, winter mix concrete. So yeah, we're working through the winter on this one to get it reopened.
Well, we appreciate INDOT kind of putting things into the highest gear possible.
Yeah.
It's a lot of this stuff was unfortunately out of your control. Mm-hmm. And right now what happens is everybody kind of looks at you and says,
Yeah.
hey, this is your project. You still need to get this done, even though the delays weren't necessarily your fault. We appreciate that I think you just got brought onto the team
I did.
earlier this year, right?
I did.
So you get to join this wonderful show already in progress.
Yeah.
But the nice part is Megan, and we were briefly talked about this before, you oversee all the Facebook for the West Central area.
Yes.
And they do a great job of updating all of the road projects that are happening. A lot of the road projects that you'll see from me, if it's an INDOT project, it's something that's directly from Megan. I don't change too much of what she's saying, because that's not really my job. Is they've put in a lot of time and energy and effort in making sure that they communicate what needs to be communicated. And my job is to get it out to you fine folks. So what I would encourage you to do is go follow them on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, another option is, I think you guys have an app as well.
Yes. So we have our TrafficWise app. I use this every day. It helps me so much. So it'll show you, it's an app and a website, but it'll show you what roads are closed, why, for how long. If there's a crash, it'll show you where and how long the cleanup is expected to happen. So yeah, TrafficWise, you just do that in your Google or Apple app store. And it's also just a website. It's completely free, but you can use it to plan out what's ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So ultimately, US 36 is going to be, is it 6 lanes wide? Is that correct?
I'll have to check on that.
Okay. I think it's going to be somewhere in that, but there's also going to be some medians that are in between.
And when you see the median work, that means we're close.
Yes.
That means we're close.
That's a
so
huge
look for the
moment.
medians.
Look for the medians. I know a lot of people don't like medians, but they do help. They're very safe.
Yes.
They don't make a lot of friends, but their purpose and the reason that they're there is noble reasons. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We took some questions from the community. They had sent a lot of things. One of the big questions that was asked was about panhandling, and that's not necessarily an INDOT thing. Panhandling, and if you're on 36 and you're traveling, that's actually more of a legal element. So what I would encourage anybody, if you are driving on US 36 and you see panhandlers out there and they are not doing the rightful thing, they are not law abiding, they do not have the proper identification that they need, you're always welcome to call the Town of Avon Police Department, and they will take a look into that deeper. If you have additional questions about what the law states and what the law will and will not do about that, I would encourage you to reach out to Chief Sean Stoops. He would be happy to answer those questions. All of his contact information is available on our website, avongov.org. The other questions were just more along the lines of, when is this going to get done, and why is it taking so long? And I think you've done a really nice job of explaining, hey, we're doing the best that we possibly can with what's being provided. Unfortunately, like you had mentioned, there's some issues with, and everybody's experiencing the labor and things of that nature. But it does impact when you when you normally have, I don't know, I'm throwing out purely hypothetical numbers here, but you have a team that's normally 50 deep, but now you've got a team that's only 10.
Right.
It's going to impact how quickly.
It makes it slower for sure.
Yeah.
And whenever we send out releases before a project starts, that timeline that we give you is best case scenario. We know there are going to be some stumbles along the way, but it's what we think it can get done without any major issues. And unfortunately with this project, there have been some major issues with like utilities, supply chain, things like that. But that's one of the reasons that INDOT created a position that I'm in, is to just kind of keep everybody updated. Transparency is very important for any working relationship, and especially between INDOT and Hoosiers, INDOT and you guys, the town. So yeah, we're really trying to keep everybody updated, and sometimes those updates might not be what you want to hear, but we want to get them out to you, and kind of just keep you guys in the loop with what's happening. So again, we appreciate your patience. It's very frustrating. I live around here, so I go through this all the time. So we have a lot of people that live out here that work for INDOT. So we're with you. We want to get this done as safe and efficient as possible. We also want to provide you guys with the end product that we'll be proud of and that you guys will be happy with. And I think that once this is all over, it's going to be some major, major improvements. So yeah, we appreciate you sticking with us for sure.
Yeah. And you mentioned something about safe.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the key word that we need to remember as well, is would it be easier and faster for us to get it done by cutting corners?
Right. We don't want to do that. ever.
Correct. And I'm saying we, again, I don't have any control over this.
Correct.
But could INDOT save a few dollars here or save some labor hours there by not doing this or not doing that? Yeah, they could, but that wouldn't do any of us any justice.
Yep.
Whenever our moms or our dads or brothers or sisters or even our kids are out there driving on the roads, we want to make sure those are safe. We want to make sure that anybody that's traveling through the town of Avon, we are the connector between Indianapolis and Danville, and back and forth. When you go to that courthouse or when there are individuals traveling back and forth, we want to make sure that those routes are safe. And if that takes a little bit more time, then by golly, we're going to take a little bit more time to make sure that it's done right. And just like Megan said, when it is completed, when it's done,
it's going to be so nice, you guys. I'm so excited. Even when I just started in April, when I toured it then, and then I just drove through today, there was some major, pavement was actually laid and it looked all smooth and nice. And there were curbs in, drains in. So we're making progress. We're getting there.
One step at a time.
Yes.
That's all we can do.
Yes.
With progress sometimes comes frustration.
Yes.
And my friend Steve Moore, who's our public works director, he said it a little bit differently than I'm going to say it, but he had mentioned if I have to frustrate you to make some progress, then I'm going to keep frustrating you just a little bit. And I'm going to change that just a little bit and say, progress is a time commitment.
Yes.
And is dedication. And if we have to, it's the tortoise and the hare analogy.
Yeah.
If we have to go a little bit slower, it's not the greatest thing.
Right.
But if we're doing it the right way, if we're doing it the right way, that's the key thing.
We want to get it done, but we want to get it done right.
Yep.
And we want to get it done so that it'll last.
Yes. So if they need to reach out to INDOT for a pothole or anything like that, avongov.org/INDOT, it goes right to your website. Is there a different way that you would like to let them know about?
Yeah, so that probably routes them to our indot4u.com website. We have a customer service team that deals solely with your guys' concerns, and they'll get back to you. So leave a contact number, leave a name, leave your concern, and they'll get on that. We have a whole team working with stuff like that. And once we identify there's a dangerous situation, we'll get out there, but we can't get out there unless we know about it. So definitely make sure you do report things like that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Megan, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is the first time she's gone live, apparently.
Yeah.
So
on Facebook.
On Facebook. There you go. On Facebook. Megan, I appreciate you taking some time. She was on her way home, and we were like, "Hey, let's."
Me.
Well, and the entire group that you're here
Wednesday.
representing. It's been a very long Wednesday. My friends, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you are always welcome to reach out. Let us know. Megan and I are both on Facebook, respectively, INDOT and Town of Avon.
Yes.
You will actually more times than not see us kind of banter back and forth with GIFs or GIFs or whatever they call it.
I love GIFs. So
GIFs and memes.
They're
That's what we do. But if you do have questions, avongov.org is the main hub of all kinds of details and information. We'll get all of that out to you as soon as possible. Have yourself a great rest of your day. The weather is cooling down, which means that the bonfires are going to start up soon, which are fantastic.
Spooky season.
Yes. Enjoy the rest of your night. Megan, thank you once again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye, everybody.